What up, Put That Nation? Welcome to another segment of our 2019 Top 25 Player Countdown. If you guys hadn't checked out the first two segments, we have done picks 25 through 16. Now tonight we're going to do picks 15 through 11. So I'm here with Double-U.D and Carly. How y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Let's go.
I'm good. So we're going to go ahead and get started. At pick number 15 comes in Eric McCoy.
I like Eric McCoy. I actually think that when we drafted him out of Texas A&M, I was excited about the pick because I knew we was getting a big guy. But that's all I knew. But I didn't know how impressive we was going to get of a guy. He fits great into our system. He come in with an impressive mix of interior blockers that we've already had. So he's in good company. He explodes off the snap with great athleticism and quickness, not to mention how strong and good he is at moving people off the ball. You know, he replaced Max Unger, which were huge shoes to fill, but I think we can all agree that those shoes fit very well for him. And he's an effortless player. He's a student of the game. He loves to learn. He was the fastest lineman in his draft. And that says a lot for a big guy over 300 pounds.
PFF, they had him graded as the highest rookie offensive lineman at a 78 grade.
Especially coming in longer as a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, he happened to learn all this, new cadence and language and stuff, especially as complicated, that former players have said the playbook is, that's definitely a great thing with him coming in and doing that. Now with McCoy, he played in all 16 games, so the guy was, fully healthy. 16 games, he only allowed one sack. And as far as his penalties, he only had 5 holding penalties and 2 false starts. So with McCoy, going all the way back to the draft, I wasn't, too appalled with him coming, being selected in the second round.
There's been a trade. The Miami Dolphins have traded the 48th pick.
I don't know why they trade. They need all the
Great Nation, welcome. With the 48th pick in the 2019 draft, the New Orleans Saints select Eric McCoy.
Before we made the selection, DK Metcalf, he was sitting there, so that's what I was hoping, we was going to get. And you know what? Not negative with McCoy with me. It was just a few weeks prior, we had signed Nick Easton to a 4-year, $20 million contract. I know the base numbers weren't that big, but I believe with the 4-year, $20 million contract, I was seeing him as possibly, being the next center before McCoy even got drafted. So that's where my mind was at. So I was like, well, we got the center. Now, we need to get a receiver. And that's how that went down. So once again, apologies to Eric McCoy, with the video, but that's before you actually put on the black and gold and start, getting dirty. Once you start getting dirty, you wasn't causing no fumbles at the line because of your, not knowing the cadence and, basically just nervous up there. You held it down your first year. So once again, shout out to Eric McCoy at number 15. I see a future with this guy, long future with the Saints. Now, at number 14 comes in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
I think we all can agree that we all love Chauncey. I'm not calling him CD or whatever he wants, but I'm calling him Chauncey until it's legally his name. So I think we all love Chauncey, and I think that this was like a perfect example of Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, and those guys in that office because they always find gems in the draft, and this was definitely one. We drafted him, I think, in the 4th round. He went 105th overall. In week 13 against the Atlanta Falcons on Thanksgiving, he recorded his first career interception off a pass thrown by Matt Ryan, and we won that game 26-18. And then in week 16 against the Tennessee Titans, he recorded 8 tackles and forced a fumble on a wide receiver, and he recovered it during our win 38-28. In that game, I think we can say so much about Chauncey, but I also think that you guys can go and watch WD's highlight video on him to see more.
So long I've been waiting for a DB that can hit, that has elite ball skills, elite DB in the making. He can play strong safety, he can play slot, but he can also play free safety.
He only started 7 games, and in those 7 games started, he recorded 42 tackles, had a pick, and a forced fumble. But he played all 16, but he was just rotating in and out most of the year. So with this guy only getting 7 starts, mainly just being a rotational player, this guy definitely has a bright future, and he definitely done earned himself a starting spot. Now I'm not sure if slot receiver will be his main. I know Aaron Glenn said that this guy gonna be playing in the slot, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be his main position going forward, or will he be a future strong? I'm not sure. I know we got Malcolm, but this guy definitely a dog. He got the swag to him, and we've been missing that. At safety. We ain't had no guy, with some swag to him. Just nasty, hungry. You can see it. So he definitely got a good future with us.
I'll say whatever position he plays in that secondary, I feel like he'll excel at it. And he definitely talks, but he walks with it too.
I think he's a force to be reckoned with. I think he's exciting to watch. He's not afraid to go out there and play. Like, he's not afraid of nobody. Like, he is what we was hoping Marcus Williams would be, as far as tackling, as far as charisma, as far as not being afraid to go out there and just play ball. I take that back. I love Chauncey Gardner when he's on that field.
Shout out to CGJ, man, for coming in at number 14. That's high. That's high as someone that didn't even get the start. And this is well earned by him. Now, number 13 comes in Thomas Morstead.
He's been on the team for forever. He's one of the last of the guys from our Super Bowl team. So there is so much to dig into with him. But since we're just picking 2019, I will go and start with him from week 3, let's say. He downed 4 of his 6 punts inside the 20-yard line when we beat the Seattle Seahawks. He earned the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week that week as well because of how phenomenal that leg was of his. In week 6, he pinned 5 of his 6 punts inside the 20-yard line with a long of 51 yards in our win over the Jaguars, earning him a second NFC Special Teams Player of the Week honors of 2019. He was also named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Month for the month of September, so he did his thing in 2019. He has this thing with Drew Brees that if they don't punt for a quarter, then they go and they take selfies. I'm hoping in 2020, if we get to see a season long enough to where we get to get that, we can get a selfie with Thomas and Drew, because that's been their little tradition that they've been doing.
Top 3 punter in the league. Say no more. He might not be 2, he might not be 3.
When we look at the punter position, it's not, as exciting as a, running back, receiver, quarterback. They're going to get all the spotlight, but a punter, is a very important key position to the game. If you can jam your opponent, in our red zone, you make it more yards for the team to travel downfield. So he was definitely good at that. And once again, like you said, top 3 punter, at least a top 3 punter. He's been doing it beyond 2019. I personally think he is the best punter in the game. Because all these new punters is up there, they hadn't been doing it as long as him. And even this year, I know he didn't get as many punts. That's because, our offense was moving. Over some games where I think he didn't even punt. I believe it was 1 or 2 games where he didn't even get a single punt off. That was because of how the game was going on our behalf in a positive way. But Morstead definitely a key piece to our success. So once again, shout out to him. He definitely gets hella respect this way. Okay, now at number 12 comes in Mr. Jared Cook.
We love Jared, and we know that Jared can be a phenomenal player when he's healthy. And if we're just speaking on the NFC South when it comes to Jared, in our Tampa Bay game, he caught 4 passes for 41 yards and his first receiving touchdown in our 31-24 victory. And then against the Carolina Panthers in Week 12, he caught 6 passes for 99 yards and he had a touchdown. So that goes to show how dominant he is just in the NFC South. I'm not even mentioning the Houston Texans. I'm not mentioning how great he was in the San Francisco game before he got injured. Just in our division, he was a force to be reckoned with. He was a threat on the field, and he was somebody that everyone looked when we played our opponents. They were looking to see, where's Cook? Where's he at? Who's going to cover him? You know, he was somebody that was a threat to other teams. Unfortunately, he just got injured against the 49ers game, and that quite put him on the sideline for a little bit.
The last reliable receiving tight end we had was Jimmy Graham. It's been so long. He had a rough start. He finally came in and started balling. He had 9 touchdowns, which is a season high for him.
No, he was All-Pro 2019 Pro Bowler, and PFF gave him a grade of 75.9. You know, that's okay. But like WD said, he got off to a slow start. You know, I was starting to get frustrated, you know, with him. You know, at first, and then he turned it around. He started getting to it. So, you know, he is definitely a threat, you know, in the receiving game. He's good at blocking as well, but, you know, receiving game, that 49ers game is an example. If he would have remained in that game, I believe we would have won the ball game. But his potential is out the roof. You know, we're looking forward to him being another piece to the success at the receiving core. So shout out to Jared Cook.
If you guys want to know more about what we think on Jared Cook, don't forget to watch our previous podcast when we broke down the tight ends and we talked about Jared Cook in detail for more information on how we feel about Jared Cook.
Okay, at number 11 comes in Mr. Deontay Harris.
The accolades speak for himself. Undrafted to All-Pro, All-NFL, All-NFC, and All-Rookie team. This guy exceeded everybody's expectations, and I will say that he's pretty much what we thought Tommy Lee Lewis was.
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming. But to go off of what WD said, he's correct. This guy is all pro in everything. He is all around the board check marks. He is just that guy. He is that special. Harris, you know, he made his NFL debut on Monday Night Football as the Saints' primary kick returner in our season opener against the Houston Texans. Week 3 against our 33-27 win against the Seattle Seahawks. He scored his first NFL touchdown on a 53-yard punt return. And that was the NFL's first punt return touchdown of the 2019 season. So he definitely set a standard, which did not go unnoticed. And he planted his foot in this league. He finished his rookie year as the leader in punt returns, combined returns, and punt return yards, and was selected to the Pro Bowl. He is the first undrafted Saints to make the Pro Bowl roster as a rookie as well. So let's not forget that. And he was also just one of 4 players in the league to have a punt return touchdown in 2019. 1 of 4. Only 4 had punt returns for touchdowns. And he was one of those guys. So like we said, around the board, this guy top to bottom, undrafted, he was that man.
And he's very fearless when returning the kicks.
He reminds me so much of Darren Sproles as far as his height goes, because he's so tiny that you can't even see him. And by the time you do see him, because of his speed, he's already gone. You have to literally be already down the field to catch him. But at that point, it's either too late or you're jumping out of your spot to get to him.
And let's not forget that we hadn't had a solid kick and punt returner, I would say, since Darren Sproles, but really going all the way back to Michael Lewis. I'm talking about that was real good at both. Darren Sproles definitely held it down. But to be an all-pro, you know, kick and punt returner, you know, we definitely been missing that.
To accomplish all the things that he has accomplished just as a rookie, also undrafted at that, it makes you think, you know, y'all messed up on this one. You know what I'm saying? Just to see the talent that this guy has, to say that he was not only get invited to the draft, but to even be a part of the draft. And that's what I mean by when I say Sean Payton, Mickey Loomis, and those guys in the front office, they just have a keen eye for talent, like they always find these diamonds in the rough. And I feel like the Saints organization is an organization where you can take somebody who is a nobody and make them into a somebody. And when they leave, they can go and be a top player for some other team. But what I like about Deontay Harris is he has brought so much attention to undrafted players. Because it lets players know that, just because I didn't draft it doesn't mean I'm not good. His work ethic gives others passion, it gives them faith, and it gives them hope that, look, these big name teams may not be looking for me, whether it's college or pro, but that doesn't mean I have to stop working hard or that I'm going unnoticed, because he didn't go unnoticed. We found him, we put him on the team. He had a 78-yard return against the Jets in the preseason. He made the final cut and was named to our 53-man roster. So that's a testament of his hard work and a testament of Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis and all those guys in the front office, their hard work to look beyond the people that were in the draft.
Sean Payton calls him dynamic. I expect him to be more involved in the offense this season, and that could make a case that he might be high on this list sometime soon.
Shout out to Deontay Harris. So, at number 15 comes in Eric McCoy. At pick 14 comes in CD Juice, a.k.a. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. At number 13 comes in Thomas Morstead. At number 12 comes in Jared Cook. And at number 11 comes in Deontay Harris. Shout out to all those guys that made the list. We want to thank everybody that, tuned into this segment. Once again, please like, subscribe, and follow the page.
Don't forget to hit the bell.
This your boy CB, and we out. Who that?
For life.